Hello and welcome to the Shut-In Show. I'm your host, Danny Parker. Today we got some good news, a little bit of bad news, and some sweet music by a kid I know. Let's get right into the good stuff. Thank you so much for being here. I'm excited to have you here on the show. So, today, this Monday, May 11th, we're like over a week into May. How did that happen already? It's hitting the end of the semester for a lot of schools. If you know any grads, make sure to reach out and say, hey, congratulations. I know that this weekend my little brother will be graduating. We're going to do something at his house or at dad's house or somewhat. But we're not talking about students today yet. We're going to talk about distilleries. So, local distilleries, Dry Fly, and the Warrior Liquor have swapped from making regular bottled alcohol to making hand sanitizer and sanitizing agents. This is a fantastic way that I'm seeing local businesses sort of pivot in this time. They were saying on some of their websites and in lots of these articles that are being written about this in the Spokesman and in the Inlander, basically these two places have an awesome bar that you can go in and taste things. Tasting room is what it's called, and then get your bottle and then take it home, right? Well, obviously that business model isn't working for them right now because nobody can go in, and so what they've done is they've pivoted to creating these sweet spray bottles full of it's really, really high alcohol content, definitely not safe to drink, but definitely bad for any of the viruses you might be encountering. So I think you can get a bottle of this stuff that's like a jug. It's more than just one of these for around $40, which is pretty impressive. It'll go a long ways. I've been thinking about picking one up. Yeah, it's just exciting to see local businesses working in ways that aren't stereotypically what they have been doing. But it's only, you do probably 2/3 less of the process to make hand sanitizer than you would to make whiskey or vodka, so makes sense. Why not? In other school news, Chance the Rapper surprised a Montgomery County educator with what he called the Grammy for Teachers. What was it called? The Box Tops for Education company presented its first inaugural Twilight Awards to 10 different educators. First and foremost, a guy named Michael DOGGETT, who's an English teacher who teaches using raps and organizes an annual hip-hop showcase, helps students write, produce, and perform their own rap music, and some of which that music is played in the halls. This guy is a huge inspiration and somebody that is working really hard right now to connect with his students, even despite having the challenges that they are. I've been in communication with a lot of educators, and it turns out sucks to try to do a job that is almost exclusively an in-person relational job online. It kind of stinks to be trying to communicate with people right now. It's just a hard time for students to be getting things done, and a hard time for teachers. And this guy is an excellent example of how to still maintain contact. He's been creating these rap videos and uploading them weekly called Hey Students, where he is getting, I think, somewhere in the range of like 50 to 70,000 views since it sort of blew up. Obviously, he's not teaching 50 to 70,000 students. He's an okay rapper. He's not the best rapper in the world, but he has some flow and he has some of the lyrics pretty well done. So he definitely deserved this award, which netted him $15,000 just for himself and another $15,000 for his school. And it kind of shows me as a growing educator, like, all it really takes is a good idea and some good energy in the right place, and you can do a lot of good. I think oftentimes I'm worried, like, oh, if I go too hard in one direction, like, I'm really excited about this, but the students won't care. And this is clearly an example of a teacher working hard meeting students where they're at, and working to create opportunities that might not otherwise exist. So way to go, Michael Doggett. I'm really pleased to know that you exist and that Chance the Rapper awarded you $15,000 personally. Pretty awesome. So, in other news, this is some media that I watched this week. This movie called Six Underground essentially is it's a squad caper. It's this genre of movies that I have come to love so dearly. And I didn't really know what to call it until I was looking around at all of these different kinds of movies, and then started looking at movie tropes and things just to kind of get an idea for the kind of things that you always see in this. But it's like your A-Team, your Losers, your Ocean's 12. Oftentimes it's a heist, but it can be just a straight military flick. There's another Netflix flick that looks very similar to this style of squad caper, but it's more serious. Bunch of military guys going after some money instead of this movie, which is a billionaire who's hired a bunch of people. I think it's 5 other people. And they are going to go and like defeat bad rich people. It's great. It's fantastic. Because of my experience of playing way too much Call of Duty right now, it really hit me exactly where I needed to be, with like gratuitous violence, and I do mean gratuitous. It's a little much at times. At one point, there's a one of the characters is like doing backflips down, I think it's like the Duomo or something, some crazy Italian building, and then he lands at the bottom, and just in time to aim and shoot a grenade launcher in through a window, breaking the driver's nose, and then it explodes. It's so over the top, and it's exactly what I needed. I think what they thought about when thinking up the sort of idea for this movie is like, okay, let's get Baby Driver and then some other generic heisty people, and then just put Ryan Reynolds as the team leader, and that's it. Like Ryan Reynolds being Ryan Reynolds in an action movie. It's fantastic. It's super great. Go watch it. It's on Netflix. It's like an hour and a half long. Watched it with Amanda, and she enjoyed it quite a lot. All right, let's talk about a little bit of bad news. Murder hornets. Okay, so on the list of things that we didn't expect to see during quarantine 2020, we've got murder hornets in Washington. Woo! This is like the only place in the entire country where these are a problem or they're starting to happen. Essentially, they are called Asian giant hornets, or by J. Jonah Jameson-esque researchers or reporters, they like to call them murder hornets. Now, the reason they're called murder hornets is because they are about 2 inches long. They can rip the heads off an entire hive of honeybees in a couple of hours, and they've got dagger-like stingers that pierce beekeepers' suits. Yeah. Yes. They're called murder hornets for a reason. At the same time, they exist in our state. They only have been sighted in the top northwestern segment, so look out for these. They're not sighted in Washington yet, but the Washington State Department of Agriculture has gone on the offensive. They're going Oscar Mike to destroy the incursion before it gains a foothold. They're out there trying really hard to find as many of these things as they can and eliminate them so that they don't gain a recurring foothold in the state of Washington, because that would be problematic for us. Now, the way that they are asking for help right now is that if you can see these, you can take a picture, call it in, and then they will come and investigate the area because they care so much. So I will post a map with all of the sightings, and do what you can, find them, whatever. But a local Inlander article that was posted essentially was in defense of local insects who've never murdered anybody that we've heard of so far. Basically, in this time of entomological McCarthyism, be careful. Don't jump to conclusions. Don't send a photo of a cute buzzing bumblebee and call it a murder hornet. These are very, very docile beings that will only sting you if you get too close, and or you were in the way. It's fine. Now, in all seriousness, like, do be aware that this exists. These murder hornets, these giant Asian hornets, Asian giant hornets rather, and like, do what you can. If you see something that looks weird, take a picture of it or go look it up. If it's not 2 inches long, it's probably not an Asian giant hornet. But yes, they have flaws. They're no angels, but before you start wildly accusing these local insects of being murder hornets, take some time to understand where they come from and what they've been through. All right. And so for our final story of the day, I've got some new music from DJ Harris coming in hot for you. I tried really hard to get a music visualizer to work on this stream, and it just wasn't working. Like, all of the visualizer apps suck that I could find. So I'm going to play a segment of this new song DJ Harris has titled "KATRINA Take a Shower," and then I'll tell you a little bit about it afterwards. Let's see, music.
Oh man, I guess it's that time of year again. Trina's birthday. Alright. Well, guess I'll just get some stuff off my chest. First of all, take a shower. Don't be afraid to put on deodorant like every hour, sweet and sour. But mostly sweet until she lifts her arms up, cause then she starts to sting. Hey, take a shower please, begging you, I'm on my knees. Find it hard to breathe when she's near and I start to sneeze. Could be worse, but also better. I hope she gets this message from the song I threw together. Oh Trina, take a shower please, I'm begging you, I'm on my knees. Find it hard to breathe when she's near and I start to sneeze. It could be worse, but also better. I hope she gets this message from the song I threw together. Like, if it's a money thing, I could Venmo you, like, I don't know, $10. Get like body wash, bar soap, anything. We'll talk later. It's not the worst thing, I guess. Could be better than me at chess. Could be causing problems and squabbling, just causing me some stress. Mentally, she the best. Second to me, I guess. Honestly, there is only one thing I would like to take a shower.
And that is the first segment of KATRINA Take a Shower by DJ Harris. Fantastic new song from this rising star. I'm looking forward to seeing what other things I can hear from him. Also, I went and found his SoundCloud, and he's got some pretty sweet things up there too. This is Clint Bosma's little brother Harris, made exclusively for release at her birthday, at KATRINA Bosma's birthday. Let's see. And this is a classic photo. This is a classic photo of the whole fam. You got DJ Harris over there in the front and KATRINA in the back there. I could not get this song out of my head all morning long, Clint, and so this is hopefully a way to excise this from my brain. It's such an earworm. I can't believe this got stuck in my head so badly. Yeah. I hope one day to be good at roasting my siblings as Harris is. This is amazing. Anyways, we'll let this play out through the rest of the end of the episode. But this is all I got for you today, folks. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate you. And call your folks, go for a walk, eat some lunch. I love you. Have a great week. I'll see you on Wednesday.